Hey guys, it's Olivia and I'm back with another video. So, I don't know if you guys know, but I stream not as much as I would like to anymore, but there was a time where I was streaming every single night at 9 p.m. and streaming is something I really enjoy doing. And whenever I do something, I am a major perfectionist and I want it to be done to the best of its ability. And so when I stream, I use this camera right here. So when I'm streaming, my video quality more or less looks like this. And in this week's video, I'm going to show you how to do that. But before we get into the video, be sure to subscribe to my channel because I make new videos every Monday. I make anywhere from tutorial videos like this to rant videos to how to make money online videos. And with all that being said, let's get into this week's video. So how do you use your camera, whether it is a DSLR or a mirrorless camera? How do you use your good quality camera that you paid lots of money for as your webcam? Well, everything you're gonna need, I have right here in this little pouch. So it is a lot of things and it is an investment, but for me, it is totally worth it. I will have a link to everything that I talk about in this video in the description below. So the first thing you're gonna need is your camera. This is not the camera I use. The camera I use is the one I'm currently using, but this is a similar camera. So I use the Sony a5100 and this is the Sony a6400. And so you need a camera of some sort. And then if you're streaming, you're going to be streaming for a long period of time, I assume, and you don't want to run out of battery. So you're gonna need an AC adapter, which is essentially a battery for your camera that plugs into the wall. So you have infinite battery life. As long as you have electricity, you have battery life. You're going to need a capture card. I have the Elgato HD60, but there are lots of capture cards. This is the one I would recommend simply because it is the only one I have used. So it is the only one that I can feel comfortable recommending. And I have used this a whole bunch of times. I have streamed over 100 times and every single time I have used this and it has worked great. And you're also going to need an HDMI cable. The Elgato capture card does come with an HDMI cable. However, it was regular HDMI to regular HDMI, and my camera takes a micro HDMI, so I have this micro HDMI to regular HDMI. Some cameras might have a full-size HDMI, other cameras might have mini, and some cameras might have micro. So depending on what your camera has, you're gonna want whatever size your camera has to a regular size because that side is gonna plug into your capture card. And so that is for the video portion, but if you want good audio quality, which I assume if you're a perfectionist like me, you're gonna want it, then you're also going to need a mic. So this mic right here is the Blue Yeti mic. That is what I use for my YouTube videos, and it is also what I use when I stream. So if you are using a mic, one thing that I recommend that is not necessary is using an aux cord, and I'm going to explain that later on in the video, why I use an aux cord while using this mic. So now that we have all of our materials, I am going to show you how to plug them into your camera, how to hook them up to a software. The software that I'm going to use is OBS, which is a totally free software, which I know you're probably very happy to hear after potentially having spent a lot of money on all of these accessories. So yes, a 100% free software, and I'm going to show you how to hook everything up so that you can use your camera to stream. So this is what you're going to want to do, and I am going to use my phone to film to show you how I hook everything up to my camera. So first things first is the AC adapter, and as you can see, I already have one plugged in. So the part that looks like a battery just goes straight into your camera, and then you plug the other end into the wall. Then for the capture card, so as you can see in the side of my camera, I have the micro HDMI plugged in, and then that is plugged in to the HDMI in on the Elgato capture card. On the other side, there is an HDMI out, but that's not where we want to plug it in. Plug it into the HDMI in, and then the right beside it is the power. So it's a USB-B, and then the other side of this is plugged into your computer. So now I am showing you OBS on my computer screen, and I know that it looks very confusing. It's just a screen within a screen within a screen, but when you first open it, it's just gonna look like this. It's just gonna be a black screen, but I'm capturing the screen to show you guys. So what you're gonna want to do is, I have just added a new scene called tutorial, since this is a tutorial video, and we're gonna go to sources, and since our capture card is now plugged into our computer, we're gonna go add, we're gonna go to video capture device, and as you can see, I already have one called camera, but we're gonna create a new one called camera 2, click OK. And then right now it's trying to use my desktop webcam, which we don't want. So I'm going to go to Elgato Game Capture HD, and I'm going to click OK. Then we're just going to wait a little bit. And there, as you can see, there is my face. But I am a square, and I don't want to be a square. So I'm going to go to camera 2. And I'm gonna right click and go to properties. Then I'm gonna change the resolution / frames per second type to custom. And then I'm gonna change the resolution to 1920 by 1080 and click OK. And then we're just gonna wait for my face to show up again. And there you have it. There is my face on the screen. But you can also see some other things. You can see this little timer, and you can see my camera settings and my camera tracking my face. And we don't want to see this. So another thing that your camera needs to be capable of is a clean HDMI out. This is not a clean HDMI out. This is what your stream would look like. And you don't want your stream to have this. So this is what you're gonna wanna do. It's different for each camera, but this is how you do it with the Sony cameras. So you're gonna wanna go to menu, and then you're gonna go to setup, and you're gonna go to the second page. So this is page 1, page 2, then you're gonna go to HDMI settings. Then you're gonna go to HDMI info display, and you're gonna turn that off. And there you have it. All of the icons disappeared. Now, when I sit in front of the camera, there was no tracking square, there was no information listed down below. So that is good. That is what we want. But another thing that you may notice, you can see the camera refocusing. Do you see that? Like, oh, did you see that? The camera refocus? We don't want to see that. So another thing you're gonna want to do is set your camera to manual focus. So once again, I'm gonna get up and show you how to do this. So once again, I don't know how to do it on all cameras, but this is how you do it on this specific camera. You're gonna go to the menu, and you're going to go to camera settings, and you're going to go to page 3, go to focus mode, and change it to manual focus. Then I'm just gonna use the focus ring on my camera to focus it. So here I have my phone, I'm just showing you. So this right here is the focus ring. And so I'm just going to turn it until I get the focus that I want. So I've moved the focus around a little bit, and then I'm gonna sit down. And I just so happen to be in focus. If I wasn't, then you would just get up, change the focus, sit back down. Get up, change the focus, sit back down. And this is what you would do before you start the stream. So no one is going to see this happen. You're gonna set the focus beforehand. And so now, as you can see, I can sit here, I can move around, and it's not gonna keep refocusing. And if I move back, I'm out of focus, and then if I move back to the spot I was in, I'm in focus. The focus is not going to change. I have to sit in this spot if I want to be in focus. So when you're streaming, you want to put it on manual focus because you don't want to keep seeing the readjustments. So this is what the video is going to look like. And as you can see, it looks essentially the same as when I'm actually filming something. So within OBS, this is what you are going to see, but your audience is going to see what you were seeing before, just a full screen of you. So this is what you're gonna see when you're streaming on OBS. You're gonna see OBS and then yourself, but your audience is strictly going to see the video output like you just saw. So now for audio. You can hear me right now because I'm recording my audio separately on my Blue Yeti mic. But as you can see, there's no audio in OBS. So here's one of two things you can do. And this is where the aux cord is going to potentially come into play. One thing you can do is go to Sources, Audio Input Capture. And as you can see, I already have my mic, but I'm just going to create a new one. Mic 2, okay. And then I'm gonna choose my Blue Yeti and click OK. And so as you can see, this mic 2 is my mic. And I don't know if you can tell, but the audio levels are not moving at the same time as I'm speaking. Like, look. See, it's not in sync, and that's an issue. So one thing you can do is go to your mic with the levels and click the gear and go to advanced audio properties, and then you can offset the audio. So I can go to my mic and I can offset it by 500 milliseconds, right? For me, I find that that doesn't always work. And like when you're streaming, it's out of sync. And maybe it'll work for you, but for some reason it has never worked for me. So this is where the aux cord comes into play. So on the Elgato, there is an analog input, which basically means you can plug an aux cord into it. So then you're gonna have your video coming from the capture card, and you're going to have your audio coming from the capture card. So since they are both coming from the same place, instead of your video coming from the capture card and your mic coming straight through your computer, since your audio and your video are going to be coming from the same device, they're going to be in sync. So what I like to do, since the Blue Yeti has a headphone jack so that you can monitor your own audio, this is what I do. I take my aux cord and I plug one end into the mic and I plug the other end into my capture card. Another device that I own, or another cord that I own, is this right here. This is a ground loop, because what I have found is when you just plug in the aux cord straight, you get a zzz sound when you're streaming through the analog audio, and we don't want that. So I take this ground loop and I plug it into one end of the aux cord. So this is what I do, and I'm gonna take out my phone again to show you. So the Blue Yeti mic has this headphone jack. So I take the aux cord and I plug it into there. Then the other end of the aux cord is plugged into the ground loop, and then the other end of the ground loop is just another aux cord. So one end is like an aux in, so you plug the aux cord into that. So one side is female, the other side is male. So you plug the aux cord into the female side, and then you take the other end, and this is the analog in on the Elgato, and you plug the other end of the ground loop into the capture card. Then now back over to OBS, what you're gonna wanna do in order to turn on the analog audio is you're gonna go to we're gonna get rid of this mic because I don't want it. You're gonna go to the camera, you're gonna right click and you're gonna click properties. Then you're gonna click configure video. Then as you can see on the bottom of the screen, this little Elgato logo showed up. You're going to click that. So as you can see right here, I have input HDMI with analog audio checked. Originally, it's not going to be checked, so you're going to want to check it so that you can use the analog audio port on your camera. So if I uncheck it, then it's going to say no signal for a second. And I just want you to look right here. You see, let me move this over. You see camera 2 and you see how there's no audio waves? Well, if I turn on the analog audio, right now everything is plugged in, but there are no audio waves because the analog audio isn't turned on. So let me tick that back on, no signal for a second. And here we have it. And as you can see, there are audio waves on camera 2. Another thing that you can see is that the audio waves are very low. So with the Blue Yeti specifically, once again, I'm going to switch to my phone camera. The Blue Yeti has this volume dial, and as you can see, it's for the headphones. So if I turn this up, then as you can see on the camera 2, it is also going up. So if I turn this up and down, that controls the audio levels. So when you're streaming, if you're too loud, you turn the dial down, and if your audience is like, no, I can't hear you, you turn the volume up. So that's another thing that I like with using the aux cord and using the analog audio, is that if I want to adjust the audio levels, my mic is usually right in front of me, like how it is right now. It's just sitting right in front of me. You reach over, you turn the dial, and it's so easy. So yes, this is how I stream. This is the setup. And then from there, you go to whatever platform you want to stream on, whether it's YouTube, Twitch, YouNow. Those are the platforms that I have streamed on. You go to that website and you get your stream key, you put it into OBS, and then you save your settings, and then you'll click start streaming, and then you'll be streaming to that platform. So yes, that's how it's all done, and I know that it seems probably very complicated, but the main thing that you need to make your camera work as a webcam is you need a capture card. Without a capture card, your computer is not going to recognize your camera as a webcam. It's going to recognize it as a USB device. I really hope this tutorial was helpful. I hope that it was like step by step and not too confusing. I hope I didn't jump around the place too much. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I respond to all my comments, so I will give you the best answers that I can give. I have been streaming for over a year, and I have done over 100 streams, and this is the setup that I use, and it works. So this was my tutorial on how to use your camera as a webcam. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. If there's any other how-to videos that you want me to make that are maybe YouTube related or streaming related, if I have the answers, I will make that video. So if you have any other questions that you want me to make a whole video about, feel free to let me know that down below. And with all that being said, that's all for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you think your friends will enjoy it, be sure to share it with them. All my social media links will be down below in case you want to follow me on there. Be sure to subscribe to my channel because I make new videos every Monday, and I'll see you next Monday with a new video.